The Nigerian Air Force 001 aircraft conveying President Muhammadu Buhari and his entourage arrived Sochi International Airport at 12:30 Tuesday morning local time. The president, accompanied by the governors of Ekiti, Gombe and Zamfara states, was received by a high-powered Russian government delegation led by the mayor of the city of Sochi as well as the Nigerian ambassador to Russia. Also at the airport were the Minister of Foreign Affairs, National Security Advisor and other senior government officials. At the Russia-Africa Summit, President Buhari will join other African and Russian leaders to bring fresh perspectives on some global issues and challenges like nuclear technology, energy development, digital transformation, environment, technical security, mining and steel, education, agriculture, infrastructure and development strategies.
More than 30 heads of state and prime ministers have pledged their commitment to be here. President Muhammadu Buhari is part of those leaders that have accepted to be here. So it's an important one for our continent. It is important for Russia. At the end of this summit, it is hoped that Nigeria and African countries would put together for themselves a new security architecture for the continent that should hopefully, take from the Russian experience in protecting cities against terrorism, in protecting our borders against infiltration by criminals, inflow of weapons, of drugs, smuggling, and illegal explosives. So security is important. We obviously would expect developments in trade and investment, which lies at the heart of the meeting itself, and such matters that may also impinge on culture, identity and sovereignty of nations on the continent.
President Buhari is scheduled to meet with President Vladimir Putin of Russia to further strengthen relations in security, trade and investment, as well as building partnership that will enhance Nigeria's huge gas potentials.
Nigerians will not forget Russian support for the unification of Nigeria, the support they gave to Nigeria during the civil war years, at a time when some of our traditional friends had deserted us. Russia is still doing so much for us, dealing with the procurement of military hardware, in tackling the insurgency, particularly in the northeast. It is important that President Buhari is here at a time when the effort is being made to push out permanently the insurgency in the northeast and infiltration by ISWA, Islam in West Africa groups. So I believe that a lot will be discussed on matters of military procurement. The Russians have achieved perhaps the greatest success anybody could using the gas resources available to their own country. Nigeria would be talking to Russians on possibilities in enhancing and utilizing our enormous gas resources. There will be discussion on power, iron and steel. Don't forget Ajaokuta. So all of these things are important in the view of the president, and they will be put on the table.
An African business forum which will bring together African and Russian business leaders will also be held towards enhancing Russian investments in Africa and promoting African business interests in the Russian Federation. From Sochi, Russia, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.